They don't actually lock us out.
No. I hope not. Okay, cool. Right.
So what's your name?
My name's
Robbie.
Yeah, my name's Robbie. I go to Goldsmiths. I study sociology and anthropology. I've been a journalist for a few years, a social commentator, and activist for education, for equality, those kind of things.
Nice. So what are we doing in this back alleyway then?
Okay, so what we're doing in this back alleyway is we've occupied Deptford Town Hall, which is the administrative buildings within Goldsmiths University. And the purpose of this is, one, to implement a set of demands that we think we need structural changes to this university in all different kind of manners, from counselling right through to transparency with money, right through to kind of democratic decision making that happens within the administrative boards. So it's kind of to highlight on all those issues, but also to prove that you can use spaces that are completely unused to engage in ideas of free education.
Yeah, to discuss
ideas. So democratic discussion making, various other things. You know, we're running a whole program today of like free workshops, free debates, open spaces, closed spaces for people to kind of engage in private discussions, that kind of thing. And it's not hard to mediate that. You just need a space to do it.
Yeah, and what's good about this is that you've actually kind of been allowed to do this. Yeah, you've got the security on your side, if you know.
And I think we're in a lucky position with that, because it's like, so I've been staying the previous occupations for the last few days. So with LSE, UAL, and KCL, of which we are all in some solidarity with.
Oh, yeah, I got my little. Is that part of it?
Yeah. So Red Square Everywhere, which is the international symbol of the student movement.
Yeah, sweet.
But yeah, and we're in a lovely position because I think this building's been occupied many times before. But you know, some of the other universities have never done anything like this, and they are receiving backlash from the managerial departments about the space that they are using, which in lots of ways you can expect. I think you'd probably expect it here too. I think Goldsmiths is great because it's a liberal university. It opens up its ideas. It does declare a lot of its accounting figures and that kind of thing, but I think there's more it could do.
Yeah, definitely. So that thing in Warwick where they attacked the protesters?
No.
Was that a couple of years ago now? Probably quite a while ago, but you see it there's a place in Canada that's just happened where they're crying and all that's happening.
Which I don't get. I mean, I don't get the idea of there's no criminal action here. It's not like we're in people's spaces. We're working with people into certain spaces. They enter at their own free will. It's not like we're kind of particularly doing anything that is in any way considered kind of an effect on the local community. If anything, what we're doing is adding resources to the local community.
Definitely. You see people walking outside the front of the building now, and they're all looking in here, checking it out, and people are even walking in and saying what's happening, and then they're engaging in conversations with you about the issues. And like that's what I think we found in the last few days through these spaces. Not something that we expected to find was people to engage with democratic discussions they wouldn't normally have about their education, because we all go about our everyday lives. We all kind of have our personal conversations, that kind of thing, but we don't often get the space to engage with other ideas. Or especially political,
or other political people,
Yeah, I mean, like when I was, this is like my first weekend in London, so I've never spent a night here. I've only ever come, as soon as it goes dark, I'm out of London. But I spent like a few days here now. And going on the underground, it's so quiet, nobody's talking, and I'm thinking this is a perfect opportunity to discuss political opinions and to be able to dialogue with people. Nobody's doing it. I really don't understand that.
I think there just isn't a dialogue in everyday life that allows for politics, or if there is, there's certain politically facing people that find themselves in those discussions, and you find everyday people who have political opinions trapped outside of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the major structural problems about our conversation around politics.
Yeah, and they've been distracted by other things that I
mean, like until about a week ago, I didn't know a lot about what actually went on administrative-wise at my university.
Yeah.
I didn't know stuff like the counselling department and the waiting list. I didn't know things about the surplus. I didn't know things about the structural implementation of other universities. Ultimately, I've learned so much through these spaces in the last week that has made me so much more clued up about what goes on at my university and other universities, that it's so empowering.
And that's the best thing about it, really. Coming together and showing the community and other people that if you work together with direct action, you can actually make a difference.
Yeah.
So, and that's happening all over.
Yeah.
It seems like it's not just in education; it's happening in all industries.
Yeah.
You just need everyone to come together.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's so many different lobbying groups within their own different sectors. So, in housing, there's a massive movement in the minute with this thing called the Brick Lane debate.
Yeah.
About educating people on stuff like evictions and giving them an equipment and a dialogue and teaching them how to deal with those eviction processes.
Yeah.
So it's practical implementation of stuff to change people's lives. And I think that's the thing is there's so many support structures and networks out there, but a lot of them are non-governmental, which is what you kind of need. They open in an absence of those kind of resources being out there in the wider environment. And they also open to create dialogues between people that are in difficult positions.
Yeah.
And I think they're incredibly important. It's incredibly important for them to link together and to discuss with each other what they're doing. Because, with the run-up to the general election, I think there's a real political agenda on the cards that there is a system that could be very different.
Yeah.
And structurally organised very differently.
Yeah.
So,
we're in a position where we have the technology. Sound like a line from a film. We have the technology.
We have the technology.
We do have the technology to completely change the system and use technology to advance us in a much more positive way. Like, why are we still using these systems that are old? Like, why are we living in the past and using iPhones? It just doesn't make sense. I mean, this building is a perfect example, really. It's a beautiful building. It can be used for like decent forward thinking.
Yeah, and I think what I mean is. As soon as those discourses start spreading into something bigger, that there is a possibility to just do things in spaces. There is a possibility to give your voice on the internet. There is a possibility for anyone to film anything and be part of the production process of the media.
Exactly,
it's not confined to a small few. Nothing is.
Yeah, it's just that the small few have got a little monopoly on it, and you need to break people out of that.
But with demobilising the apparatus of how that works, through little things like this and through bigger structures. I think that's what's incredibly powerful about these spaces.
Yeah, it's kind of strange that you're in education, but you're providing free education about what's happening in education. So it's kind of like a big circle, really. And you're also learning from it as well. So it seems like a really positive thing. And what's the link with the LGBT community?
So there's a big FemTalk department and cohort within Goldsmiths University. About the position to kind of change the attitudes around relationships with women, around relationships with the LGBT community, around the relationships with the BME community. Yeah. So that's the black minority and ethnic community. And I think that those spaces, those people don't often get spaces for discussion. And I think one of the things we really want to try and implement here is spaces for those discussions to be made.
Yeah, I mean, not only is it good for them to communicate with each other, it's also good for them to be able to communicate with other ethnic groups and also people like us who aren't.
Yeah, we don't see that stuff.
No, I had no idea.
Exactly, I agree. I had no idea either until a few days ago.
Yeah.
But it's it's things like this that highlight the problems that are there, and finding processes to fix them. It's all about solutions. It's not about creating problems.
Yeah.
And finding solutions to those problems through talking, and discussing, and debating. Thinking and sharing and eating, working together, to create.
Definitely. Right, fantastic, Great. Thank you very much.